Sean O'Malley. He's facing off against Aljamain Sterling, and finally, the golden boy from Dana White's Contender Series with the flashy knockouts and the cool look is getting his opportunity at the belt. I couldn't be happier. I got to be honest. I think that Sean O'Malley may be my favorite striker. I think he's really flashy. I think he's fun to watch. I think he could have a little better mic work. I'm trying not to be biased, but the guy's an entertainer. The guy's a great fighter, and I think he's a little underrated coming into this upcoming fight against Aljamain Sterling. And I do want to give credit when it's due. Aljamain Sterling is a great fighter. Some of his fights, like how he became champ, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and I want to say a lot of fans' mouth, because it was that disqualification with Petr Yan. Then he wins that close fight against him. Then he fights TJ Dillashaw, and he basically goes into the octagon without a shoulder. So I feel like he's had a really rocky road. But if you can't respect Aljamain Sterling up to this point, and especially after fighting Henry Cejudo, I think you just don't like the guy. You got to give him credit. He's a phenomenal fighter, a phenomenal wrestler. He's a big bantamweight, but so is Sean O'Malley, and I'm super excited about this fight. I really do think that Aljamain Sterling is the more complete fighter, but I think Sean O'Malley has made drastic improvements, and I think we saw that against in the Petr Yan fight, which again a lot of people didn't feel like Sean O'Malley won. But I think the key here is going to be Sean O'Malley getting by when he gets taken down. At the end of the day, this is a 5-round fight, and I hope his cardio has improved, because Aljamain Sterling has definitely proved that he could run a triathlon in that octagon. He could go for 15 rounds. Sean O'Malley has had issues with his cardio, and there has been a few fights where you see him, he has a lot of volume, but he's constantly looking at the clock. You see his defense kind of come down, but we got to see him in a 5-round fight. I think this is going to be a real test, and it all depends on which route Aljamain Sterling takes. Aljamain Sterling, I think, has to be very grapple heavy. I don't think he wants to get into a real striking match with Sean O'Malley. With that being said, I think Aljamain Sterling's out to prove a point. I think he wants to strike with Sean O'Malley, and I think he wants to prove I'm better, and I think that's going to be his first mistake. I think Sterling needs to be grapple heavy in the beginning. If he wants to get loose striking, he has to let that happen later in the rounds, in the championship rounds, maybe after round 3. I don't think he wants to strike with Sean O'Malley while he's fresh. I think a lot of this fight for Sean O'Malley will be distance control. I think setting up nice combinations and keeping Aljo at a distance, which he can with that reach advantage. I think he has the reach advantage. I think Aljo has a great reach, but I think Sean has the advantage there. And then utilizing some body kicks. I think if Sean O'Malley's able to keep him at bay with some good teeps, I think Aljamain Sterling may be forced to strike with Sean O'Malley, and that's where he got to keep the fight. Sean O'Malley may become the bantamweight champion, but like I said, I think it has to do entirely with Aljamain's IQ and what he's in there to prove. If he's in there to prove I'm the champion and I'm better and I can outgrapple this guy and I'm using my tools to beat him, I think Aljamain wins. But if his ego's out of place and he says, hey, I could strike with Sean O'Malley, I think I'm better, I'm going to prove that I'm better, now he's gambling a little. And I don't think Aljamain's in a position to gamble with Sean O'Malley. He's very unpredictable, and although a lot of people are doubting him, and I know he's going to come in as a huge underdog, I think that Sean O'Malley has the skills and the striking ability to really beat Aljamain Sterling and leave him face down on the canvas. I think that's a possibility. We saw him against Petr Yan, and he was impressive. I think he kept up with the grappling, but Aljamain Sterling's a different animal, and he is champ for a reason. So I'm curious to know what you think. Be sure to comment below. Be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe, guys. I'm the MMA Casual, and I'm here for the long haul. I'll see you.